Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a What Is Wednesday on What Is Meteor. Now, this is something that I think there is a little misconception around about what is Meteor exactly. And Meteor has changed pretty substantially over the years, with all of these improvements being for the absolute best. I'm going to explain some of how it's changed over the years and why it's better. However, to give a broad overview of what Meteor is, it's a platform for building applications using Node.js with whatever front-end framework that you choose, whether it's Angular, React, or even Meteor's own front-end framework called Blaze. The database is MongoDB by default, which is something that is difficult to change. So if you're not into Mongo, then Meteor is sort of out of the question for you in terms of what you should be focusing your time on. And it uses Node and NPM and all this sort of stuff. So it's essentially just a platform for building Node apps. Now, there's some killer features like the zero configuration build tool that offers a ton of really excellent build tool things like code splitting and dynamic imports with seriously zero configuration, as well as, there's some real-time features that come with Meteor and part of Meteor called Tracker. Now, these real-time things are awesome, and honestly, building a real-time application couldn't be any faster, right? If you were going to build a real-time app somewhere else, I just don't think anything could compare to the speed at which you get up and running to which you could with Meteor. So while Meteor is primarily known for its real-time features, it's not necessarily its best features, in my opinion. I mean, not to say that those features aren't good, because they're certainly excellent. However, some of the really excellent things in Meteor is just how nicely integrated the front end is with the back end. What I mean is that, instead of having to write an API and hit an API and really have a separate front end and back end, you can use things like Meteor methods, where you define your server-side functionality on the server and then call your methods directly from the client side and not have to interact and not have to hit an API somewhere. So what I really like about this is that the client and the server, they start to merge together. And if you're doing server-side rendering and stuff like that, it's even better, because you just end up having this application where the client and server are working together in such a way that is just super nice. And not only that, but the accounts and user authentication system that comes within Meteor is excellent as well. It takes all of the guesswork out of one of the least fun aspects of any project, which is getting authentication up and running. And in terms of Meteor, you add a couple of packages such as accounts and maybe some service packages like accounts Facebook or accounts Google or something like that. And you have access to nice secure logins and something you don't have to worry about ever again. So the thing I like most about Meteor, all said and done, is just how fast it is to get up and running. And in fact, you can, if you're not worried about security and you're just doing like a hacking project and you just want to test an idea, you can get up and running in like no time and even do really insecure client-side writes to your database. I mean, you can write directly from the client side to your database if you want. Now, obviously, this isn't something you're going to want to keep in your site when you go to production or anything like that, but it makes testing out ideas and getting started just instantly fast. And some of the real-time stuff definitely wows people upon starting. For instance, if you were to follow this basic tutorial and you were to add a to-do to your database, that to-do is also going to get added to the front end of your site, and it would be just like, I don't know if you remember that Angular 1 example that came out where everyone was obsessing over a two-way data binding being so easy. This is like that same thing, but it adds it to that database. And like I said, I'm not using the real-time features like crazy in my work. It's definitely sort of a wow thing and something that can get you just really excited about the platform overall. So when Meteor first came out, part of the criticisms were that, there was no import system, you couldn't use NPM, there were a lot of things. It was just sort of like a fancy real-time app thing that was sort of stuck in its own. However, since they've added NPM support, they've added a standard import system, and their build tool is just absolutely top-notch. Meteor's become an excellent platform for building just standard React or Angular or Vue sites. I use this with React on the Level Up tutorial site and have really enjoyed just how easy it made everything work. I didn't have to code a separate backend. It's all a part of one code base that communicates really smoothly. And like many people have noticed, the Level Up Tut site is actually really super fast. And this has to do with the code splitting and stuff like that I'm getting from Meteor's build tool. So again, what is Meteor? It's a platform for building Node.js apps that are client-side and server-side and include a database. It uses all of the standard Node stuff that you're used to, so you can quickly get up and running, building some really excellent applications using whatever front-end framework of your choice. Now, who knows where the future of Meteor lies as sort of tools get better and transform? Meteor is essentially becoming more of a build tool with some packages that connect the client side and server side. But the great thing about it is it's also becoming way more flexible, where you can sort of pick and choose what you want. When Meteor first launched, you were tied into their own front-end language, which was called Blaze. And now Blaze was great. However, I prefer to use React, and it's so easy now to get up and running with React. If you want to use GraphQL, it's easy to use GraphQL. If you want to use Redux, it's easy to use Redux. Basically, all of this stuff is making it into a more flexible platform. Not only that, but the guide.meteor.com is an excellent source of documentation. One of the things I've always loved about Meteor is just how seriously they've taken their documentation. If you want to find out anything about this platform, it's right in here. Now, some of the criticisms of Meteor is that you're stuck to MongoDB, and that's totally valid, as not everyone loves MongoDB. I personally like Mongo, and I have no issues building applications in it. A lot of the concerns about it are totally overblown. Other critiques are that, well, scaling a Meteor application is difficult, and that's actually really not so true. Scaling a Meteor application can be difficult if you have a ton of collections that are all real-time, and you're having to deal with all this real-time collections, you're not using indexes, and you're not essentially writing excellent code. However, if you follow best practices, a Meteor app is as scalable as anything else. Now, I obviously don't work for Meteor or anything, I just happen to really enjoy working on this platform. And who knows how long Meteor will continue to exist in its current state, as it sort of moves closer and closer to a grouping of various packages that work together to produce something that's this easy to build sites. And if you're familiar with GraphQL, the team behind Apollo is the same team that was behind Meteor. And eventually, Meteor might sort of merge with GraphQL in some sort of way. I'm not exactly sure what that would even look like, or if that even makes any sort of sense. But if you're looking to build an application on Node.js and you plan on using MongoDB, Meteor is a great option. And I found it extremely easy to get up and running and extremely easy to code in. So check it out. If you're not familiar with Meteor already, you need to just meteor.com, I believe. Yeah, meteor.com. Check out some of this stuff. Just install it, do the basic to-do tutorial, and you're going to see pretty instantly how nice and easy it is to get started. So as always, this is Scott Tolinsky with Level Up Tutorials, and this is What Is Wednesday. If you have any other topics you want to see covered on What Is Wednesday, where I cover a basic definition of various web technologies, let me know what you want to see. Upcoming, I'm going to be doing one that is What is Redux, because I'm actually working on a React and Redux series for everyone right now, which is going to be just absolute Redux for beginners, Redux for people who have been frustrated with every other Redux learning resource. I plan on making it as English and as basic as possible. I'm going to be teaching you exactly what everything means and why you're going to be doing it, but I'm going to be doing so in a way that makes sense. So, if you want to see other topics covered on What is Wednesday, leave a comment on this video and let me know what you want to see. As always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.